Thank you very much, Antoine. And today, the financial season always starts really in March. So in March, all the companies have to publish, especially if they are public, have to announce their numbers. And we talked about this a couple of times.
So you read the Q1 report?
I read a couple of reports, and we have to talk, guys. We have to talk. A disclaimer up front. It is never about the company. It is about the numbers I want to judge and I want to question. It is never about the company. I looked a little bit into the numbers from some special companies, especially from public companies, and I don't understand subject. Maybe you can help me out. For instance, I would like to highlight a company called LeakTech. LeakTech, membrane company from the US. Everybody knows that.
From Denmark. They are traded in the Nasdaq.
You're right.
They are from Denmark.
Right. Sorry for that.
If you want to have more details, listen to my interview with Harry Skalrispaik on my podcast season 2 or 3. I'm not sure anymore. That was my plug.
Yeah, good. They had a revenue 16 million, right, last year. So with
1.6.
1.6. It was a loss a little bit compared to the year before. It's not about that. I don't want to judge the 16 million. But I want to judge that they had 16 million net loss, even with the 16 million revenue. And they had net loss over the last years and years and years and years. So they accumulate, clearly, the losses. The revenue goes backwards as well. The share price dropped dramatically over the last years. Clearly, we have to say that. And I don't really understand that, how that can happen if you burn so much cash over the years. The other example is one of my favorite companies, really. If you would ask me really for a company I would love to work for, it is clearly this one. It's Aquaporine.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to tell you also the truth. They had a revenue of last year of 4 million euros, which was an increase by 400%. So really, really great. But since more than 5 years net loss, just last year, 15 million. So they had 4 million revenue and 15 million loss. The year before they had 17 million loss. The year before they had 11 million loss. So they're burning cash like this. The other company, NX Filtration, we know it's a very young company. And
it was a while we didn't speak about NX Filtration. I think it was at least 2 months.
They had 8.4 million revenue last year. Great, they doubled the number. They doubled really the number. But also, they had 15 million net loss. The year before, they had 13 million net loss, together with the IPO costs and so on and so on. The other thing is they have 100 million in net cash position. So they have a lot of money. They sit down on the money and they burn it like hell. And they build a new production facility and things like that. These are just 3 examples I digged out. I could dig out some others. And I also found some others which really cutted their losses by half, and some, turned the loss into profit and things like that. I don't want to say that I understand that. I don't understand that, how you can really burn so much money. And that is a little bit the issue here. If that would be a disruptive technology, like we discussed it once, like Huber. Huber is a disruptor. They want to disrupt the entire market. But I don't see that nanofiltration or forward osmosis is really so much disruptive that it is worse burning such an amount of money. So maybe I don't get the point. And again, I don't have any idea. Maybe it's because of that they are new in the market. But wait, LeakTech is a company 23 years old. I think that doesn't work like this, right? NX Filtration, yes, we all know it's pretty young. Again, it is not about bashing, but I don't understand here the bigger picture. Why we do have so many companies burning so much money. And that is a little bit the issue I have with all the financial numbers.
Let's start from your 3 examples, because I think they're pretty interesting. You say it's not that disruptive that it justifies burning cash. LeakTech does nanofiltration with
they have
ceramic membranes. So ceramic nanofiltration is pretty disruptive. And
but
the last time I discussed with their technical director, they were on the verge to release reverse osmosis with ceramic membranes, which I would deem pretty disruptive. Aquaporine is leveraging this special protein, which has very special peculiarities. They are also pretty disruptive in their way to market, because they also want to address the under the sink market. So membrane, high-tech technology, which you could have in every home. So disruptive on the technology, disruptive on the business model. And NX Filtration,
they have these kind of nanofiltration membranes,
which is also a different take at the market. And we all know that nanofiltration has this difficult position to not be ultrafiltration and not be reverse osmosis, and trying to find this market in between. But if they take it to the market, if they realize their promise, they have a good position to be lower pressure than reverse osmosis, and the same time, the same type of perks. So what I'm surprised is that you, the so-called membrane guy,
I'm the layman here on the financials.
Financial is a different topic, which I'd like to discuss with you as well. But let's start with your assessment to say they're not disruptive.
What means disrupt? You turn a completely market on its head. Apple did this with some mobiles.
Did they?
Well, they did.
Did they?
They did it with streaming. They did it with everything. We know that. Schubert.
No. That's the heart of it.
No.
IBM invented the Simon in 1992. But Simon,
the market was not ready.
That's the point.
And things
That's
like
the
that.
But that's the point.
Apple,
the IBM Simon existed
talking about
15 years.
Talking about Apple or
Let me just finish that one. The IBM Simon existed 15 years before the iPhone came up, and you can argue that it's not the same technology, but it's the same approach. What was different in 2007 is that the market was ready for Apple to disrupt it. So you're judging Adix Filtration, LickTech, and Aquaporin on their capacity to disrupt, but you don't know about the market. Maybe the market is or is not ready, or might be soon ready.
What I'm asking here is, why are we burning so much money? Why are we investing from investors' perspective, from family perspective? Aquaporin has a lot of this.
I just want to finish on this story of disruption. Why do you think they don't disrupt?
Because disruption means you turn something completely up on its head. And the membrane technology, Aquaporin, is based on the proteins. It is something unique, but we have membrane filtration already there. Nanofiltration is, well known since decades, since we know filtration. So it's nothing so special. We know that we have ultrafiltration, we know that we have reverse osmosis, and we know that in the middle is nanofiltration. So it's nothing new. That is the point. Even ceramic membranes, even that is not so new. So it is not really that you take these kind of technologies and you change completely the market, you change completely the rules. For instance, Huber, we discussed this once, and you said, it is like Huber. Yeah, but Huber wants also to change completely the market, that we don't have these kind of taxi environment anymore.
But it's exactly the same. You say membranes exist, taxi existed. What Huber invented is a more practical way to tap into the taxes.
No, what do you have here? You have a technology, and maybe I'm totally wrong.
You said it, not me.
But we have a technology which is doing the same. It's treating the water through pores. So it's always the same. Forward osmosis, forward.
And Uber is taking people in cars. If you try to go that way.
Okay. Then what is your bet on this? What is your bet on that? If you say, well, this is all disruptive, your bet would be that in some years, like Uber, like all the other food chain companies, which, deliver the food to your home, this was also disruptive. This will come in a couple of years. I don't believe in that, because it is not so much disruptive as all the other things we have.
Let's take LickTech. Let's imagine LickTech delivers on the promise that they can do reverse osmosis out of ceramic membranes, which means they can do these very high-end applications where you can be much more aggressive on your material, because fouling, backwashing, chemicals, mechanical backwashing, you can be much more aggressive because now it's ceramics and it's not polymers anymore. If they can deliver on that, it means that... Let me just finish on that. Let me just finish on that.
Why don't they have...
No, I won't.
Positive result.
That means that if they achieve and if they deliver on that, which is not yet the case, they are finalizing the R&D and they need to then prove it and bring it to the market, and we know that the adoption in the water industry takes time. If they can deliver on that, I could imagine that instead of a 10 years lifetime for our old membrane, you could go to 20 years, which means spectacular increase, exactly as spectacular as Uber is to taxi.
I've worked also for family businesses, right? I know that you're coming really from the corporate perspective, but let's say I know family business who have really to count the money to pay the people. And here we have totally the opposite. We have companies who are burning cash all the time. And I don't get that.
What do you think about a big group? If we were to burn money, our shareholders would put us all from the window and I would not have a job.
Exactly. But why is that not happened here?
Because it's not the same thing.
It is. It is. 23-year-old company is burning money over the last years. So why is it not the same? Tell me. It's the same.
It's a matter of ambition. What do you want to achieve?
Okay, your company are not ambition, and this is...
Not at all. That's not the point. The point is, if you want to grow year on year to do a 3-5% profit and expect maybe your category to not disappear and to grow along your category, then that's the wrong way. But if you say, I want my category to fully change and I want to go to the next step change, then you need to take some risk.
Okay, I got it. But let's say how much risk you have to take. When is the risk too much?
When investors don't follow you anymore. As long as investors follow you, why?
Well, if you get a good story, and we all know water is a topic, because we had some months ago the UN Water Conference, which totally was, something weird.
Water is
a topic. That means we find all the time someone who's investing.
It's
We
not
know we have more
no, it's
investments
not
into
true.
the industry, but we are burning money. We have
Björn, you know it is not true.
What is not?
If you take the venture capital investment in water, less than 0.5% of total venture capital goes into water. So it's not like we have free cash.
Yeah, but it increased
Oh,
over the last year.
yeah.
This is what you have to tell the truth, not only the piece.
It increased
sure,
from
but-
0.3 to 0.5. Woohoo!
That
Big
doesn't
increase.
matter. If we talk about billions, it is some money.
Okay, remove source
come
and it didn't increase. True? Remove source and it didn't increase.
I don't want to talk about this.
So
But no, really, it's not bashing at all. Tell me, why do you want to burn so much money? Why an investment company? Even I am investing if I have ETFs, if I have funds, if I have shares. Why? Let me finish. Annex, for instance, is building up a huge production facility that needs some money. Got it. We put it in because we bet on future that in 1, 2, 3, whatever years, they will have the market share, they will have the revenue, then it turns. But what about all the others? What about, for instance, the aquaporine I said? Aquaporine, one of the best companies from, what they do is really great in terms of ESG, in terms of marketing, really great. But they are burning money over the years. Like this.
you have to.
Do you
If you start with the ambition to change the world, and these companies have the ambition to change at least a portion of the world, you have to. It's one of the paths. You cannot on one hand say, "Hey, venture capital is rising." Those are the rules of venture capital. I mean, look, we all know Tesla, right? Tesla, it's great, it's wonderful, it's a big success, it's the largest car manufacturer in the world. When the US state invested in Tesla, they invested hundreds of millions in Tesla to support the expansion of Tesla. At the exact same time, they invested exactly the same amount into a solar panel company. And nobody knows the name of that solar panel company because they died. That's the risk you have to be willing to take. You have to be ready to burn money on something.
Okay, I don't understand
That's the
that.
principle of venture capital.
I don't understand that. And if I read that, I should say, great. Revenue increase by 400%. Doesn't matter whether they have, for 4 times the loss of the revenue. Doesn't matter. So I should accept that and would say, great company.
No.
So four times they increase the revenue 4 times. Great company. Doesn't matter that they.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying that at some point you have to aim for profitability. If you are on the startup scale-up path, that point isn't the beginning.
Okay, startup, I get it. Okay, startup, I get it clearly. So NX Filtration startup, clearly.
Aquaporine,
Somehow in the middle. What about LickTech?
LickTech is a company that's changing its path. They just got trading. I mean, they are trading on NASDAQ maybe for 2 or 3 years.
Is that one of the companies which will quietly disappear over the time and someone will take this company and then the technology will disappear?
Why would they?
Well, because maybe it doesn't work. That is one of the reasons. I mean, so many technologies are still on the market and then they disappear.
I would really prefer to have clear paths in the water industry. What we see, and sorry, that's the moment where every second month I have to mention it. If you read the work of Paulo Calan in his Dynamics of Water Innovation,
yes, sure.
what he showed is that, no, I'm not, this time I'm not taking that one, I'm taking another of the figures he's showing, which is that the companies in the water sector are not like the usual suspects we see in startups, which are in this chasm and then die. It's not the case. In the water industry, they survive. They stay around.
Yeah.
They're in this no man's land.
No man's land.
A decade,
They
for
find
2
an
decades.
investor and the investor is saying, okay, yeah, you have another couple billion. And
What
they
you're
deploy.
seeing here with
Like this.
LickTech is that, and I don't have all the story, I didn't even know you were going to speak about LickTech, so I'm really speaking from the top of my head. But what you see with this kind of company is that most probably they were in this no man's land. And they said, what do? Do we stay in the no man's land and we might be successful going from one pilot to a middle scale to some scale of project, and yeah, we can survive for that? Or do we go for the big bets and we are ready to raise money from the market and to go all in because we believe in what we do? I think that's what they did. To me, that's what they did, and I can't blame them for that.
It's not blaming at all. It's not blaming at all. I just want to understand the mechanism.
Let me take a last example here.
Okay.
You gave us 3 membrane companies.
This is really by purpose. Really by purpose. Was not.
I always wonder, because there are 1,000 membrane companies, and I wonder how within that ocean of 1,000 membrane companies, how can you be different? And it sounds to me like those companies are trying to be different. And that's the aim. And you can't blame them for that. And let me take a last example.
No. I'm not blaming them that they try to be different. I'm just asking the question, does it make sense to have so many losses if you have such a small revenue and such a small market share.
As long as you have,
that is a bet here.
as long as you have cash and you're in business, it means that people believe in your path. And let me take my example. What is the biggest Series A ever in the water sector?
Tell me.
It's Svitoko, so another membrane company.
Another membrane company.
So it sounds to me like if you come with a membrane technology which has this potential to be different, well, markets are ready to believe.
I want to believe so wicked bad in this.
Because there is a need for this type of technology aiming for this type of problem and looking at the type of solution which you can bring with the membrane technology. So you can't on one hand say, oh, we need more investment and clever investment and venture capital, and on the other hand say, oh, they are following the startup path. Yeah, Netflix was profitable for the first time last year.
Okay, I checked. Total bullshit. Netflix was profitable since 2003. I don't know what I'd smoked that day, but I'll leave it in the edit so that Björn can do a victory dance in the comments.
Yeah, but Netflix really disruptive.
What did they disrupt? You could go to the VHS store and take VHS, and now you can have it on stream. I mean, I'm using the same argument than you. They are as disruptive to the VHS than aquaporin is disruptive to the membrane
Netflix
industry.
is not disruptive. That's what he said.
Not less than aquaporin, not less than Lictech, not less than NX filtration, not less than Switoco, not less than membrane. Shall I continue?
So that means they are all disruptive.
Not less than Evolve. Not less than. I can continue for a while.
No, interesting, but really, I mean, I see the number and it scares me a little. That's what it is.
Okay.
It scares me really a little bit for these cool companies. They have so.
Are you invested in them?
I don't want to put my money book on here.
So if you're not invested in them, why are you scared? Rich people are losing money. Is it your problem?
No, I care, for instance, about the people, about the business model, about our industry. That's what I care about. I mean, it's all about people.
What's at stake for those people? You're working for aquaporin. You're working for Lictech. You could be there and believing something which is like, okay, a 9-to-5 job. Instead of what? They're like, we can change the world. Let's take the risk. And maybe you're out of a job in 3 years and you'll find something else. What's at stake? Not much. Not much, really.
Live for nothing or die for something. Your call.
So you are clearly saying it's good that they do losses because
I'm excited that there are companies like that in our industry. I find it incredibly cool.
me too. Don't. As I said, I'm scared to see these numbers. I'm really scared. Hopefully, in the next 3 years or 5 years, whenever I look into the numbers, these are one of the examples which turns upside down the revenue and profit, and I hope so. I really hope so.
If one of them makes it big, then it was worth it. But that's an interesting topic. I'm glad that people like you take some time to read the Q1 report.
Not
Forward to the
Q2,
Q3.
financial annual report.
Okay, I'm looking for it next year because every year he comes up with some, I have to say, cool stuff out of this financial report. So someone has to read it. It's Björn. And we might not agree on the outcome, but I'm glad that you
Again, it's not about agreeing.
Here we go again.
No. I get you. I get you.
All three companies are cool companies.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They are cool companies. They have cool product. But I don't get, and as I said, it scares me really if I see that they have such a small revenue and such a high loss.
The answer is yes, Grandpa.
And this is not just once over the last years. It happens every year, every single year, and that's what really scares me.
I think you understand.